Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Inheritor back again with another Rocket League replay analysis. So, for this video, this is going to be Diggity at the rank Bronze 1 in what appears to be 1v1s. And they didn't specify anything in particular, so we are just going to do a normal replay analysis here. So, yeah, before we get started, I want to mention that I do stream pretty much daily on Twitch, starting time around 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, depending on work schedule and coaching schedule. Also, if you're interested in free coaching, then I do run that through my Discord server, and yeah, the link to that will be down in the description below, so if that interests you, you're welcome to join. And yeah, let's get right on to the replay. So, right off the bat here, settings are what appear to be default. And actually, real quick, I'm going to go over that with you with some settings. At least I'll show you my settings, and if you want to try them, you're welcome to. If not, you can look in to see what each individual thing does and go from there. So let's switch on over here. Alright, so we are in Rocket League. So real quick, camera settings, okay? First things first, you can keep what you have if you like them that way. However, first things first, turn off camera shake. It will change your game. You may not see it right now, but as you climb in the ranks, you'll notice that this is a big bothersome thing. And then the rest you can see here. You're welcome to copy it and try it out for yourself if you wish. Controls, this is more up to you. This is a pretty subjective section. Now, the interface is also up to you. Really, however you want that set as well. Now, video settings. Obviously, these things here are going to be depending on how well you run your device, or how well your device runs the game, I mean. But this is how I have these items set here. I would advise doing that for better performance. Same with these, really. And just keep on transparent goalposts on so you can actually see through the goalpost if you happen to be inside the net. Those are just a couple pointers that I think will help you out in the future as you move on through the ranks. So let's get back to the replay analysis here and see what we can find. Alright, so right here, ball's in the air and you're currently in front of the ball. Your best option here is to, as you're slowly driving to be in a position to hit the ball, which is good. You know your opponent's behind you, so you don't really have to rush too much. But what I would have done differently here is turned off your ball cam, so you could actually see this circle right here to know where to position your car before the ball even hits the ground. And as the ball gets higher up in the air, this inner circle, like there's this outside circle and then there's an inner circle just on the inside, shows you just how high up off the ground it is from the ground. So the closer it gets to the ground, the bigger the circle gets from the center out. So turning off ball cam here would have helped you determine where you need to put your car to actually hit the ball. And honestly, if you had done that, given your opponent's behind you, you could have just placed your nose like right in this area right here, and the ball would have just rolled right to the net. You wouldn't have even had to touch it again. Good turn there. I just realized we're actually in the middle of the game and we just started the replay, so this isn't even the full game. When you're in a situation like this where you're playing ones, okay, so this is a little bit of a different mindset than twos or threes. You got to remember when you go to hit the ball on the wall, specifically the corner, you got to remember there's nobody to pass to other than your opponent. So in a high-ranked 1v1 match, doing what happens here and just blasting it off the wall out towards the center of the goal is going to result in you getting scored on. So rather than doing this, I would have waited for it to roll back down, turned off your ball cam, and tried to control the ball. Even if it's not a dribble on top of your car, you could still side flip into the ball and probably push it back up the wall and get it around your opponent, rather than being stuck in this situation. So following this up, you jumped a bit early. It would have been fine if you didn't flip immediately. But it's another one of those situations where you probably could have turned off your ball cam and been able to see what happens, or where the ball is going to end up being at what period of time. This was a much better touch off the wall. That's unfortunate. Okay. Why does it jump like that? That's annoying. I'd say you just misjudged it. It's another one of those situations. Again, turning off your ball cam would have put you in a better position to really put yourself where you need to be to hit the ball into the net. So you wouldn't have necessarily done this. Not to say that turning off ball cam is going to be your game changer, but it will definitely help. In regards to recovery here, this you would have been better off just driving back down the wall rather than flipping off and keeping yourself into the air. If you were going against a better opponent, you would have needed to be faster than that. It's unfortunate that you bumped him here. I'm not sure if you were trying to bump him there, but it's definitely one of those situations, if you were going to bump him, you should have made sure you bumped him to the corner rather than towards the direction of the ball. No big deal. You're stuck in a situation with no boost here. You started going towards mid, which I thought was really smart. However, I think you should have kept going down this path of small pads, and that would have given you like 30-something boost to work with, rather than flipping away back towards the direction of the ball, which you won't get to on time, to challenge it in the corner. So you should have stuck with going towards the middle and picking up those small pads, so one, you have boost, but two, you're in a position to go for the ball from a proper angle. Luckily, your teammate didn't capitalize on your miss here. Again, even though you should have done it the other way, you still... I want to say you just jumped. Yeah, you jumped too early. If you had just adjusted to the direction your car is facing now rather than jumping here, you still could have drove forward a little bit and then jumped and done your flip and probably been able to hit the ball there. I'm not sure if you were trying to hit the ball here. Looks like it. I know that you wanted that boost. Just what I was debating on whether you or not you intentionally missed that or not. So you missed the boost. I would advise trying to avoid turning back around if you miss boost, because it's going to put you in a position where you're not going to be able to go for the ball, which is exactly what happens right here. Now, if you were playing slightly faster than you are currently, then you probably would have gotten to the ball in time. But given the current situation, you turned for the boost and you lost ball possession. Good speed for that. Smart waiting for this and realizing that wasn't going to just go into the net and not trying to jump into the post for that, because that would have been a hard thing to pull off, especially if you don't know how to maneuver around to get the right angle for that shot. So, you have a tendency of doing this. You go away from the ball, and then you decide to flip. So even if you do touch this ball, it's not going to go anywhere. My suggestion with that is either A, in this scenario, where you are coming from the side of the ball, from this angle, to either hit it here and take it towards this wall, or go a wide angle and come around so your nose is going this way towards the opponent's net and try to shoot it that way rather than just coming to the side and rushing. And then even if you hit this, you're not going to get a very good touch on the ball. So, just try to think about other options. You don't always have to hit the ball just to hit the ball. So your opponent, you can't even see right now, which means likely it's likely that they aren't going to be able to beat you to the ball, which is where I'm getting to, which is where I'm pointing out, like, you have more time than you're giving yourself. So try not to rush too much to the ball, and consider other options than just hit the ball towards the net. You want to make sure you get a good touch towards the net. That's going to be the difference between getting a touch that's not going to go anywhere and the touch that will lead to a goal, if that makes sense. This is another one of those situations that you kind of rush the ball here. After realizing, like, you can see your opponent here, which is something, and don't take this as like you're doing things wrong. It's just things that you don't necessarily know to look for yet. So as you're playing your 1v1 matches, I want you to try to remember these things I'm pointing out to you, and eventually you're gonna adapt to what I'm saying, and suddenly you're a much higher rank. So right in this situation, yes, you're technically closer to the ball. However, you waited a little too long to actually cut for the ball here. So it's the distance is what I'm pointing out. It's you can see he's closer to the ball and he'll touch the ball first. So if you're going to challenge this, you need to try to accommodate for their touch. So instead of flipping this way to try and get the ball to go towards this wall, you're going to have to flip the other way, diagonally, towards this boost diagonally, to get the ball to go that way, and not get beat like this, like you have here. Good recovery, though. Good save. This is another one of those situations where I'd recommend turning off ball cam. Unfortunate. Remember, you don't always have to flip into the ball. This hit right here was because you flipped into the ball, and you could have, I mean, I know you have 0 boost, so that's a factor, but you could have just kind of drove with the ball and kept it close to you rather than being stuck in a situation where you have to flip to catch up to the ball. Good 50 on the kickoff. Again, you flipped into the ball. You didn't necessarily need to. So what I'm gathering so far is that pretty much every time you go to touch the ball, you're flipping into the ball. Which takes me back to what I was saying earlier. You know, you don't always want to flip into the ball. Sometimes you want to keep it close to you. 1v1s especially, you want to keep it as close to you as you can most of the time. This is one of those situations that you probably should have waited. As soon as it got to this point, there's no angle you can really get to score this. At least not as a newer player. You would have been better off waiting for it to bounce off the wall and then go from there. So, you know, sitting where you are is okay. But instead of challenging this touch that isn't likely to go in, you'll have a better angle if you just wait for it to do its thing, rather than trying to get a touch here and giving away ball possession here. It's good control in the flick, or the flip there. Not really a whole lot I have to say about that one. This was probably just a misread. It happens. Realistically, if you had just stayed where you were here rather than driving forward, the ball pretty much would have came to you, and you would have just had to flip into the ball to get a touch there. Good shot. Brazil! Unfortunate. This bounce right here, I know it was kind of hard to read, but one thing to look for is the angle the ball is moving, which is also the same reasoning that you probably misread the last one. It just wasn't likely for you to be able to touch this when your car is this direction. Now, if you were facing this way, it would have been a different story, but you were at an awkward angle, so it wasn't likely for you to hit that from where it was. No big issue. It's kind of flipped the wrong way. Want to make sure you do a front flip on that rather than a diagonal flip. Overall, well played, especially for being a newer player. The main things that I really pointed out was utilizing your ball cam, turning them on and off for seeing where the ball is going to end up on the field when it's up in the air. So when your ball cam is like way up in the sky and you can't see anything in front of you, that's gonna make it a little bit more difficult on you. So if you turn off your ball cam, not only will you be able to see in front of you, but you can see where the ball is gonna end up. And then next thing was try not to rush your shots too much. Consider your options quickly. Consider your options and see what else you can do with the ball rather than just go for a random touch. And then lastly, remember that you don't always have to flip into the ball to touch the ball. Yes, you have a higher chance of getting more power on the ball, but sometimes, especially in a 1v1 situation, you want that ball to be close to you so you can do what you need to depending on what your opponent does. It's not just about getting touches on the ball. It's how you go about touching the ball. So that's about all I gotta say regarding your gameplay for the time being. Those are the main things I can really point out that you'll really understand from a beginner standpoint. So that being said, I hope this video helps you out, my man. I'd like to recap before we call it that I do stream on Twitch pretty much daily. 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when I will be starting my stream, and I'll go until 1 or to 3 in the morning, sometime in that range. It just depends on what my work schedule looks like. And then yeah, again, Discord link is down below if you're interested in some free coaching. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. If you liked this video, make sure to drop a like. Go ahead and subscribe while you're down there. And yeah, I will catch you all in the next video.